Hey guys! So, the last couple of months, I found a keen interest in spiritual ideas of mankind, and in turn, the concept of tarot readings and the cards in themselves. Besides the fact that making my own tarot cards, and in turn, being able to draw around 70 cards with preconceived ideas, meaning I don't have to think of them myself, it piqued my interest. And I also wanted to get in touch with my own spiritual sense and my own spiritual side, and tarot readings in a whole. I am someone who does in fact believe in energies and entities beyond our understanding and physical condition. It might just be my imaginative mind playing with my own senses, but from time to time it does feel like another energy is there beside me, watching over my shoulder, just sitting there, watching me from the corner. And specifically, the last couple of months and even the last year, there's this male energy that resides in my room ever so often, which I know it sounds weird, but I've kind of grown attached to. We're besties now, you know? But before I get into all of that, let's talk about the card I'm making first. Now, a while ago, I participated in a quiz online about what tarot card represents me, and I got the Hermit. Which, I mean, it's kind of ironic, because I'm not wise whatsoever, but, I mean, I'd like to think so. As we know, the Lulu is this Lulu. Besides that, I just thought it would be a good starting point for a completely personalized deck. Now, looking into the definition of the Hermit, I'm going on the definition by the Rider-Waite cards, and in its upright position, so when you pull the card and it's in the right position, the person isn't on its head, the definition is soul-searching, introspection, being alone, and inner guidance. So it hones in on a lot of self-discovery and a lot of thinking about yourself in the sense that you're discovering things about yourself, you're learning, and you're bettering yourself. Now, in the reverse position, meaning the card is on its head, it does mean isolation, loneliness, and withdrawal. Now, I did mention in its upright position, being alone is one of the definitions given. Now, I do think there's a difference between being alone in its upright sense and in the reverse sense with loneliness. There's a difference between solitude and loneliness, which, I mean, I think a lot of people have talked about this in many of cases. We specifically had full-on discussions about it in school, and I don't really want to get into it, but I do want to address it because I think it's important. Loneliness in this sense means that without wanting it, we have no one to talk to, we have no one to relate to. Being alone in this sense is more the solitude kind, which means we choose to be by ourselves physically, but we know we have people to talk to, we know we have people that are there for us, and it's not completely lonely, but it's being alone, if that made any sense. But in general, the main idea of the Hermit, getting back to the topic, it's that atop of a lonely mountaintop, he stands with a lantern containing a six-tipped star, the Seal of Solomon, and a staff to guide him, symbolizing spiritual mastery, growth, and self-discovery. The mountain representing accomplishment, success, and development. The lantern and the star itself, so the Seal of Solomon, represent the wisdom, more specifically spiritual wisdom, but also general wisdom. The staff, or how you see it, the stick, is the subconscious, but also authority and power. Now, this idea is all based on the Rider-Waite cards. I believe these are the original definitions, but I don't know. I'd have to look up on that. If I'm wrong, I'll probably put it on the screen, but that's the definition I found. Now, to go on to my idea, which is pretty similar, but as you can see, the card definitely does not have a mountain. But let's go from symbol to symbol. Now, the arm is partially the lantern. As we guide ourselves, we decide what we want to see in a sense. The path we see is in us and is part of our journey, and in turn, part of our body itself. The wisdom, as represented by the Seal of Solomon, is already in us, and we must only find it in ourselves and reach for it and follow what it shows us, just like a lantern showing the path in the dark. Now, you'll notice that I did not include a mountain in this illustration, but the mountain is replaced by a collection of gold jewelry, representing wealth, and more specifically in this sense, wealth in a spiritual knowledge, and success overall. Now, the staff sits upon the arm, squeezed between the lantern and the body. It's the subconscious that we tend to protect, hide, behind what we are able to see, such as behind the lantern in its shadow. Though, in front of our body, it's what actually guides us. And we grasp authority and power so close to us, so no one can reach for it, keeping it to ourselves to keep control. It's not necessarily selfish, but more protective and being scared of foreign influences that might change ourselves in ways we do not want to. Now, besides the main aspects of the card itself, I did use a reference produced by myself. And I wanted to do something rather unusual and weird. For one, because for a lot of people, tarot cards are, for example, just such as zodiac signs, are just weird and something they don't want to engage with, they don't understand, they just find strange. But more specifically, when talking about the pose I did choose, the hands seem to attempt to shape the head and influence it in some way. The finger pressing into the cheek, shaping the skin around it, the fat around it, the meat around it, creating the shadow. These magical circles that you'll see at the very end that touch the skin. It's a lot of shaping from these hands that are in this illustration, the ones of the character itself. Now, you could interpret that we are ourselves, change how we appear and what we see. But to be honest, I just wanted to do a weird pose. I mean, I saw a lot of influences, a lot of videos online with a lot of artists just drawing a lot of ethereal and weird poses, and I just got inspiration by that and I just wanted to do it, and I had time, so I chose that. Talking about time, I actually do not have time. I should be studying, but am I doing that? Not really. But it's fine. I mean, rather have fun than being stuck with studying things I don't want to. Math. But that's fine. I will get to studying when I'm finished with this voiceover. Well, let's jump into what I started at the beginning, which is this spiritual idea and how I wanted to get more into that side. Now, I did mention that there's this male energy that resides within my house, in my room. And I mean, it's not a scary energy. Sometimes the energy does seem very agitated and mad and angry, but in other ways, and in most times, it's very calm, collected, and just there to watch. It's not here to interact. I tried it a few times, but it didn't really work. There was one time I turned on a candle, of course. I lit a candle and it was blown off, like the flame disappeared. And I don't know if that's because of my heavy breathing or maybe that was the ghost. I don't know. I took it as a sign that it was the ghost and I got really scared, so I turned on all the lights again. But from time to time, I will decide to just sit in my room, at the very middle of my room, in full darkness with just a candle lit, and just try to communicate. Recently, I did that once again, and it didn't actually work. There was no contact, there was no actual signs, which I'm fine with. I don't need to be scared again. But also, in another sense, I'm a bit sad that it didn't work, because I did want to get more in touch with that energy. I wanted to learn more, but if it's not interested, then I won't probe it too much. Not trying to get it agitated, not trying to get it mad. But besides this male energy, there more recently has been a female energy roaming the hallways, and more specifically, we have a art piece, which is like a embroidered face of the Virgin Maria from the Bible. And the art piece was made so the eyes will follow you when walking through the hallway. So, hi, it's me, editing, Lucas here. Just wanted to note that I did in fact lie. The painting is in fact not designed in the way that the eyes will follow you. It's a very normal art piece about Maria. I did lie. I did fabricate a truth that was not the truth. Yeah, I do apologize. Like, in a sense, it has that specific perspective where when you walk, the eyes just follow you. And the female energy that I felt was very, very similar to what I feel when I look at that art piece. But it was pretty mad, and it chased me through the hallway, and it's a very short hallway, so I escaped easily, but still, it was very frightening. Because I just walked there, and I don't tend to turn on the lights in the hallways at night, so I just walked through the dark, and just out of nowhere there was this energy that really, I don't know, the hairs on the back of my neck really stood up, and I wasn't feeling it. That was not the vibe, and I just went back. I went back up the stairs, and that energy felt very female, and I kind of get the feeling that it's from that painting. Well, it's not really that painting, but from the art piece, but it could be something else. I might just be delusional, but that's that. And in the very same hallway, I've also sensed a childlike energy, which was just hopping and jumping around the hallway, skipping, and I've spoken with my friends about that, and we kind of got to the conclusion that it might have been just residual energy from me and my siblings as we were kids that were jumping through those halls, skipping through those halls. That was just residual energy that I felt there, a memory. But it didn't feel familiar. It was kind of this new energy. But maybe I'm just out of touch with my own energy, so that's fine. But talking about my own energy, I do want to figure out what color my aura is. I mean, I took a quiz on what tarot card I am. I took a lot of quizzes online, which is kind of like a problem, but it's fun. But I do want to really like figure out what my aura is. There have been a few people who've told me I don't actually have a colored aura, and I'd like to believe that, because that means I can be like any color, you know, I'm just every color, so I have no color. That's the idea I want to go with, but I definitely think nowadays I do have a specific color that is just around me, and I do want to figure that out. There are loads of people out there that can see that, and I do want to experiment that. There was a filter on TikTok that many people claimed it will show you your aura, but it was just random, because I got like, every time I did it, I got a different aura, so I don't know. It kind of manifested the idea that I have every color in my aura, but I mean, that's kind of thinking a bit too far and a bit, you know, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. But I also think the spiritual like ideas and just general spiritual themes have took a much more important role within the social media space. It has gotten, and it has grown into a very prominent theme within the social medias, and I don't have anything against it. I actually support it. I love seeing spiritual things. Also zodiac signs, which zodiac signs for me are more like an entertainment, whilst tarot readings and just in general spiritual things are more my lane, which I believe in more. But zodiac signs are fun, and sometimes they are scarily accurate, but I mean, at that also I need to mention that zodiac signs are so general. So many descriptions are just so general that, I mean, they could be applied to anyone in any way. But I think that's also kind of the beauty of it, even in spiritual things. It can have so many different meanings for anyone, and sometimes it's just helpful to realize things about yourself. It doesn't really have to be true. The spiritual thing, it can be a coincidence, but it can help you figure out something about yourself, which is why I think it's also important to just maybe try it, but it's always up to the person. I mean, I'm not forcing anyone to try spiritual things, but I do think it's very fun and very helpful in some cases. But getting back to the whole thing of spiritual things getting more of a presence in the internet, I really love what kind of platform it has gotten. I love the people who do tarot readings online now for the general public, but also private readings. A lot of people can gain business by that, especially people who specialize in that field. And I think it's just very beautiful, and I think a lot of people have gotten more in touch with their spiritual side. And I mean, my friends and we want to go to haunted places, or I want to go to haunted places, and I just want to experience some spiritual things with them, some ghost things, you know. And especially with like 2 or 3 friends of mine who really are also into that spiritual things and who also are very attuned with that skill they have, and I really want to go to a haunted place with them. I might do a vlog out of it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to get into vlogging, but I'm just way too forgetful to film things, and I'm way too shy to do it in public. But we'll see. And, you know, I'm guessing you don't want to hear me talk anymore, so I'll let you enjoy the rest of this Speedpaint. And I really did hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope I've maybe inspired you to go on your own spiritual journey or think about the idea of tarot cards itself. But if you've just watched it for some entertainment or to calm yourself, I'm also very satisfied. I mean, I put this on the internet for people just to watch. There's no actual like thing I want the video to do. If you want to watch it as entertainment, if you want to watch it as something to learn things, to just speak with someone else, to hear different opinions, that's fine as well. These are here for your enjoyment, and enjoy them as you please. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching me draw myself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, my loves.